What is up, guys? Sophia here, and I am back with another topic. If you are new to my channel, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can stay updated on all of my content. And also don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, including my store and including my book specifically for single women, which you can get by clicking the link down below in the description box, because what we're going to be talking about today is how to guard your heart from toxic behind men. So what prompted this whole video is that I saw a clip of this woman going ham online. Matter of fact, why don't I just go ahead and show it to you?
If you don't want to be with somebody, leave them the alone. Like, I'm not begging you to stay here. Like, I'm stressed. Like, if you're not gonna treat somebody right, leave them alone. Ain't nobody asking y'all to stay around.
Okay, so as you could tell, this is very intense, and I'm sure that many of you women out there have either been in this situation. I mean, maybe you didn't post it on social media, but you have probably felt this way, or you have been in this situation. And matter of fact, I'm gonna be transparent and say there have been times that I have felt this about people, because at the end of the day, my issue is people coming in and wasting my time. And what I have learned throughout my years of dating, throughout my years of counseling, and throughout my years of maturing is how to properly guard your heart. So I want to take Proverbs 4:23, and this is from the Amplified, and it says, "Keep and guard your heart with all diligence, and above all that you guard, for out of it flows the spring of life." So what exactly does that mean, right? And how does it pertain to what's going on with her? Because what happens is, and I'm not blaming her, and I'm gonna get into that, is that whenever we let people or situations or men or toxic men into our space without properly vetting them, right? Without properly vetting them, what is going to happen is that they're going to leave toxic deposits within our hearts, and then we are going to have issues because of it. Because at the end of the day, whenever you watch this woman, she currently has issues in the state that she is recording this video. She is probably going to have trust issues going forward. She is probably going to have trouble dealing or being with other men because of what one man did to her. So when you say guard your heart, understand that everything and everybody that you let into your heart, if they don't need to be there, or if they don't mean you well, then you will produce what they have left in your heart. Case in point, the video that you just saw. So how do we guard our heart? And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. So the first, come to the understanding that some men want to hurt you. I know that that sounds mean. I know we don't want to believe that, but some men are genuinely out there to use you, to abuse you, to have sex with you, and to dump you on the side of the road and not give two craps about you. That's not every man, right? But understand that there are some men out there who want to do that. Why is it important for us to understand that? Because once you understand, right? Let me give y'all a metaphor. For example, when I used to see women running outside, whenever they were exercising, they'll be running outside. Women will carry pepper spray, or they will carry a stick, or they will carry a weapon. Is it likely that every person or every man that they're going to encounter while they're running is going to try to attack them? No. But they also understand that there are some men or some people out there who may want to hurt a woman while she is running. And so therefore, I have come prepared with some pepper spray or a stick that I can defend myself against you hurting me, right? So guarding your heart is your defense. So when you understand some men want to hurt you, you are more vigilant against certain types of men. Don't just trust a man coming in just because he's there and he's showing you attention. See, a lot of women get it twisted. Like, oh, he's showing me attention. He could be love bombing you. He could have ran this game on 100 million people. Maybe not 100 million. He could have ran this game on 100 other women, and he could know exactly what to say and do to get you right where he wants you. And although it might appear like love, or it may appear like something you want to get into, still understand that some men may play a game and be and do and say whatever they have to say, be and do in order to get you right where they want you. And when they get you right where they want you, they will leave and not care. Understand that that's some men's mentality, and don't just have an open heart and open arms for everybody that's coming into your life, because when you do that, then you increase the likelihood that you can get hurt. Stop trusting everybody. The second one is let men prove themselves to you over time, because what are women famous for? We are famous going on a first date, second date, or third date within the first month, falling in love with a man, planning our future wedding, planning our future kids, meshing, doing all this extra stuff when realistically speaking, it has only been 1 month. It has only been 3 weeks. It has only been 2 days. It has not been enough time for the real him to come out, because guess what? Just like I said before, people can pretend to be, men can pretend to be whatever it is that they need to be in order to get you. But guess what else? That pretending can't last forever. So what you need to do in order to guard your heart is you need to get to know a man over a sufficient amount of time and see who they really are and let them prove themselves to you. This is not to say that men have to jump through hoops in order to get next to you, right? I want you to be very realistic. But what this looks like is, okay, if a man says, hey, I want to get to know you, I want to go out with you, I like you, I want to date you, proving himself over time will look like what? Actually taking you out on a date, actually talking to you on the phone, texting you, or spending time with you to actually get to know you, because that's what he said he wanted to do, right? And this is not doing it for 1 day. This is not doing it for an hour, or even a week, or even a month. If a man is saying, I want to get to know you to see where this could go, to possibly have you in a relationship, be my girlfriend, be my fiance, and eventually marriage, because that's what I'm looking for, because a lot of men do say that even when they're toxic to run game, then guess what? His actions should prove that that is the direction that you're moving over time, and let him prove that to you without you spreading your legs and having sex with them. I'm sorry. This is what women need to understand. If you take away, because let me tell you, I'm going to leave my video down on Soul Ties down below. And a lot of people watch that video, like that video. And so I highly recommend that you watch it, because let me tell you, whenever you are having sex with somebody, an attachment is forming. And if you have not allowed somebody to prove themselves over time and they just run a game and you having sex with them, you have attached to them. And then when they go head off or start acting stupid after that, you just going to trip anymore. You just going to trip even more, because you let them into your body, you let them into your heart, and you did not let them prove who they were over time before you actually decided to open your legs up to them. So that is why I'm a huge advocate of celibacy. You already know, if you put a ring on my finger and we get married, you not playing me, because we already, unless you want to legal be binded to me and then divorce me. But realistically speaking, if you go that far, that's how I know you're proving yourself to me over time. Everybody, all of the women need to come up with what that is for you. And I personally think the longer you can hold out, the better. It's not to play games. It's not to make men beg for your coochie. It's to guard your heart and to protect yourself from letting men inside of you, letting men inside of your body, and letting men inside of your heart before you truly understand what their intentions for you and who they really are. That's what it's for. It's for your protection, and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Next, understand that trust is earned and not given. A lot of women, whenever they meet, and I have seen many women tell me this, and I am one of these women who feel like I don't know you. I say that so many times on my channel. Whenever I meet a man, I don't know you. You could be a serial killer. You could be a pedophile. You could be a rapist. You could be a completely great person. You could be gay. You could not be into women. I don't know what you are, and I don't know who you are, which is why I guard my heart until you earn my trust. I don't trust you until you have earned it. A lot of people will say, oh, give your trust to somebody until they show you something to distrust them. I disagree, because by the time you do that, you're going to be like this poor female, this poor woman, and you're going to be flipping out on social media. Let people prove themselves to you, period, right? And so what this looks like, or let me give you a metaphor, right? So whenever we say, because people are so finicky about their food, people finicky about eating at other people's houses, people are finicky about people coming into their house, right? And so I'm like, if you don't trust people, friends that if you're going over their house, some people will not eat over other people's house that they have been friends with because you don't trust them. If you treat somebody that you actually know like that, Why don't you treat the men who are coming into your life with the same amount of scrutiny? Stop. And to me, that's not even food. That is your body, right? That is your space. That is your heart. So make somebody earn your trust. Allow somebody to earn your trust, and don't do it in a mean way. Like, oh, you got to earn my trust, or start yelling at people. That's not what we're doing. You just live your everyday life, and you are observing this person, observing him, observing his actions, and observing the type of men that he is, and determining if you can trust this person. If I call him and I'm in an emergency situation, will he pick up the phone, or will he take 5 days later to call me back? And by that time, I have either solved my situation or I'm gone. And that has happened to me. I want to give an example of that. I remember way back when my ex was trying to get back with me. And one thing that I told him is like, okay, if you want to get back with me, one thing that you have to do before we even get back together is that you have to show me that you are a completely trustworthy person. I remember that and mind you, I was still dating other people. I do not care, because him and I was not back together. And what I understand is that he had a reputation for doing me wrong in the past. Therefore, why am I going to freely trust you and freely stop my life? What I told him is that we need to build the trust. I had flattened my tire on the side of the road, and I called him. Not only did he not answer, but I think I heard from him like days later. And I had to end up calling my other guy friend at the time, who I wasn't even really into. And he answered the phone, came right away and helped me out. So what does that tell me? That the guy, that my ex that was so-called trying to get me back and talk all this good game and all this history and all this other nonsense that we have, he hadn't even changed a bit. It's not even about him coming to help me with my tire, right? The fact that I have called you in an emergency situation and I hear from you days later is problematic. That shows me that I cannot trust you. So that's what it's about. And from then on, I don't have any doubts in my mind whether I need to give you the time or day, because when I'm in an emergency situation, I can't even trust you to call me back. And so that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Observe a man's behavior. Observe how he treats you. Don't just listen to his words, and don't just let him, love bomb you or text you or send you lovey-dovey love songs. But at the end of the day, when you look at what he's actually doing, and if you actually trust him, you don't. And so the last one is trust a man's actions and not their words. And so it goes also into how someone can gain your trust, because what men are very fancy for doing is telling you what you want to hear, but it not really being true. And because a man is talking and telling you what they want you to hear, women often believe the words and not the actions. And it's like, okay, when you talk to some of these women, well, he said he wanted to be there for me. He said that he loved me. He said, okay, but what has he actually done to show you that? Right? Because is he taking you out on dates? Is he trying to make time to come see you? Is he trying to make time to make plans for you in the future? Does he talk to you about the future? Does he talk about you like you are going to be here past 6 months? What is it about his actions that shows you that he cares about you? And don't just necessarily believe the words. And even if you're saying, okay, Sophia, a man's actions and he showed me, but he still turned out to be a dog. Okay. But once again, go back to the previous tip. Let a man prove themselves over time. So this is not just a situation where, okay, a man is showing you and doing everything that he needs to do for a week, and then now all of a sudden you feel like he's a changed man. Because at the end of the day, anybody can fake the funk for a week. No, it needs to be months or even longer than that, especially if you see this person in the long term or you want to marry them. It should be for way beyond that. And so once you see somebody can consistently keep their actions towards you for 9 months, 8 months, a year, then see, these are the things in which you start opening more and more and more and more of your heart. And I know that some people are like, 9 months, a year, that's a long time. It is a long time, but in the same token, would you rather be safe and be sure that, when I open up my heart to this person and join myself to this person and get engaged to this person or start being in a relationship with this person, I feel 100% confident of the type of person that they are? Or do you want to say, oh, after 4 weeks, you know, I feel confident in who he is. And then when I talked, and then like another 4 weeks after that, he's gone. Because realistically speaking, people will have to come out and show who they really are over time. And the issue is that so many women want to quick believe men. They want instant gratification. They don't want to put in the work to get to know somebody. And actually and even women will lie to themselves and skip over red flags and try to tell themselves that a man means them well when realistically he don't. And so this is why you have to follow these steps. And I promise you, if you really do this, then you will probably cut out a lot of men a lot sooner, because a lot of men are not going to pass these steps. This is something that I personally do. And a lot of men do not get past the first week when you actually require them to show proof of what they're saying. A lot of men are like, oh, wait, no, I don't know how to do that. I just know how to talk. I don't know how to actually back that up. But the ones who do make it past that, I promise you, these are the deeper connections that you have. And I think that even the good men that I have been with and it hasn't worked out, at least I don't feel like her. At least I feel like, dang, you know what? We wasn't compatible and for every reason it didn't work out. I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to flip out, because at least I know that they were a good person at heart and maybe we're just not compatible, as opposed to, wow, this person got over on me and I feel played. Right? All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I will talk to you guys, see you guys, whatever the case may be, another day, another time. Bye, y'all. Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, stay blessed.